Welcome to another episode of Learn About Port Wine. Today we are at Lado Wines in the heart of Porto's historic district, where they specialize in port wines and table wines made by small producers in the Douro Valley. Lado Wines offers some of the best tasting opportunities in Porto, and by coming here, you are supporting a group of dedicated small producers. I wanted to learn more about Lado and the small producers they represent. Luckily, Lado's manager, Maria, welcomed us to chat and learn about some great wines. Today, we are lucky enough to be at Lado Wines with Maria. Maria, could you tell us a little bit about Lado?
So Lado is a project of Avipod, which is an association of small independent producers from the Douro and Porto. So the place here is dedicated to promote our producers, promote the region, promote port, not only port, but port is a big part of it for sure. Tell people from everywhere around the world how special port is, how special the producers are, try to make it simple because port is pretty complex, but we try to make it as simple as possible.
Why is a focus on small producers important?
I think the small producers are the face, the hidden face maybe of the region. So they are not so famous, but we have producers here working for 9 generations, much older than most of the port houses, producing port since the 17 something, and their brands are not famous because, well, they're really bad at marketing, to be honest. Some of them worse than the others, but they're the ones on the field. They are the ones who really understand the vine, and I think small producers are the ones who reflect the best what the region is.
When someone comes to Lado, what should they expect?
Well, something that is very personal to me is that we want to be accessible to everyone. As far as I'm concerned, in the beginning, I've always been very interested in the wine industry, but I found it pretty inaccessible and pretty snobbish. You know, I would feel that wine was something so complicated that I could never do it. And fortunately, I had the opportunity to start with small producers, and they kind of make it simple, complex, interesting, definitely, just like the wine industry in general. But yeah, I try. That's what I try to pass to every visitor who comes at Lado. Wine is simple. Complex but simple at the same time, but not simple, but let's say accessible to everybody. So try to have a very relaxed and un-snobbish approach of wine. That's, for me, that's very, very important. So don't expect from us to have like very complicated tasting notes or anything. We talk about the history, we talk about everything around the wine.
What is special about a Lado tasting experience?
Well, small producers, for sure. Passionate people. I think what has always been important, especially in selecting the staff, was that the passion is there. I don't care about the knowledge in itself. We can all learn. You know, when I started with ports, well, with wine in general, I just knew there was some grape involved. No, that was pretty much it. And then, well, I can tell a little bit more nowadays, nine years later. So I'm not concerned about technical knowledge about wine. I'm concerned about passion, and we don't want to teach anything. We want to share. So the idea is we're gonna present you our vision, the vision of the Douro, the vision of the small producers. But please share your vision of the wine. I think that's how it should be in wine, open-minded.
Nice. Before someone comes in, should they have a certain level of wine knowledge?
Not at all. Definitely not. We start with very basic things like fermentation, fermentation, transformation of sugar into alcohol. Then we can reach more advanced stage, but that's not the point. The point is just to make it again accessible for anybody.
If there is a mission statement for Lado, what does that sound like?
Promote the wines from the small producers. Um, one important step of what the next step, let's say, it's to create a connection between the wines, everything we have here, and the vine, and the terroir and the place. It's something that I don't think the port industry does very well. It's nice talking about schist, but there is much more to it, and I think we have a very unique region. The more I know about the other regions around the world, the more I find the Douro special, and I think we should definitely showcase. So our producers have that knowledge because they know the field, they know exactly why they're gonna pick those grapes from that parcel for this kind of wine that year. And it changes from year to year. But I think that's really that knowledge that we want to pass again, but in an uncomplicated way. Always, I think wine is complex, but it's accessible to everybody. Port is even more complex, definitely, but interesting also.
So if someone has never tried port before, what would you say to them?
Taste it. We have this experience here because we have both port and Douro wines, and we've been having a lot of people who come here. So we always want people to do the both. So we have a tasting that I like very much, which is Douro wines and port wines. See how different they are, but how similar they are, because the history is very related. The logic is very, very related. But then some people just want wine, and I understand that in a point of view of marketing, we need to make it simple.
Yeah. Yep.
But people have a very limited idea of what port is, and port is so many different things, and people know that about wine. If you pick regions like, you go to Burgundy and Pinot Noir, it's one grape, but they could pass the message that grape, that wine made with that grape from that parcel is different from the parcel just next to it. And why can't we do that about port? Why can't we show the complexity about it? Because honestly, from what I know, I don't think there is a wine that has complex or more complex than port. We want them to realize that port is so many different things, and if we keep the same categories and we change producers, it would be another experience. They'll probably not even have the same favorites. So I think that's the real message, more than the small producers. That's the goal of the place. But saying that, yeah, port can be so many different things. Port is interesting. There is an infinity of possibilities. It's more than hundreds of grapes and different altitudes, different sun exposition, different realities, a lot of microclimates. So that's the message.
Lado is located along Porto's famous waterfront and should definitely be a part of your next visit to Porto. Reservations are recommended and can be booked via their website or by phone.
Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and please subscribe to the channel if you want to learn about port wine. That's good?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.